Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. Today I'm going to do a detailed how I plan and kind of go in a more structured format as to how I plan from consecutively, like when I set up my planner through each month, through each week, and through each day. I also want to show you how I set up my new Giglio. This is the B6 Appunto in aubergine. I was lucky enough to be able to pick one up when they were released. And it's beautiful. It's super smooth and velvety like everybody says. I didn't know leather could be velvety, but after feeling this, it's definitely velvety. It does make me a little bit nervous having such a light planner because if you've been watching me for a long time, you know I do work with horses, so they're not the cleanest all the time. And yeah, I wanted a way to basically protect this. So I actually found Christina Loves Planning on Instagram, and she makes these gorgeous planner pouches. And I have no skill in knitting or crocheting, and I think it's unbelievable what she does, and they're absolutely beautiful. She picks such soft, squishy yarn, or I guess you call it yarn, and she'll kind of customize it to however you want it. She made me a B6, and she also made me a Weeks one. I picked the light pink, and she, I think, did two different stitchings on mine. She did like a tighter one here, and then the fluffier stitching here. But you can reach out to her through Messenger on Instagram and kind of request whatever you like. She's really affordable. Right now I think she's selling two for $20, which I think is a great deal. And they're beautiful. I really love it. And it's gonna make me feel much happier having it in here. I'll show you what it looks like. Yeah, so it just fits nicely inside. You can kind of have it customized however you like, if you want it bigger, or she has like a flap over one that you can button, and she also has one that you can do a tie around the whole thing to make it more secure if you would like. So yeah, that's how I'm gonna attempt to keep this a little bit protected so it stays nice and pink, not brown. So all right, so how I have this set up, I have my B6 Stalogy in here, which I have showed you before. I kind of decluttered a little bit of the pockets. I just took out stuff that I wasn't using and just left in what I reach for more often. So I've been using some Bunny Plan stickers, this sticker kit, these foiled boxes from my newest addiction. And then in the front here, I like to keep a calendar just as a reference for when I set up my monthlies. I like using that. Some Aria's Daydream stickers, and this dashboard thing that I've made, and I use it as a straight edge and to hold my highlighter. So this is all like Hobonichi Week size, I guess, and it fits really well in the front part there. And this I just laminated and put a little bow tab on. I left the front cover out of the Appunto this time because I wanted to just see how it looks. I know some girls or some people do it this way. And yeah, so I left that out and so I could put this cute vinyl on. This was from a bundle from Bunny Plans. I'm not sure if she has them in stock, but you should check out her shop. It's super cute. Okay, so if we're going in, when I set this up originally, and I do this in all my planners, like my format to planning kind of stays the same whichever planner I'm in. I have just recently loved having it in this particular book. But I like a place for long-term planning. So this is like long-term to-dos that I don't have a specific month that this needs to be done on, a specific week, nothing like that. It's not date specific. And I just put this in the front so I can refer back to this and make sure I am doing the things that I would like to do within the year. So I put that right on the front there. And then I have a spot in the back for date specific long-term tasks or events or things like that. And I basically just tipped in, this is from So Much Crafting. It is a personal wide size insert. And yeah, I just tipped this. No, this actually might not be So Much Crafting. This might be Peanuts Planner Co. But anyways, a personal wide size insert, and this is where I put my date specific events or things like that. And that's right there in the back, so I can refer back to that one. I'm doing my monthlies. Okay, so once I go to set up my months, I will refer to this and to the back, to the date specific items I may have, and then I'll flip to this one. I will draw out a month. So I'll draw out a month and I will put in bills that I have due on each day that they're due. I'll put in any appointments that I may have for that month, so doctor's appointments, or if I have anniversaries, birthdays, things like that are date specific, I'll put on here. Each month, once I pay each bill, I'll cross it off, or once it's paid, I'll cross it off. And yeah, that just gives me a general overview of each month. And then what I'll do on the back here, I do a month on 2 pages, and then on the back I'll do my to-dos specific for that month. So things that I want to get done in that month, I will put right on the back on a to-do list. And then I'll also do a to-do list for the upcoming month, because things that come up that I know I won't get done this month, but I'd like to do it next month, I'll put them there. And then I will refer to this once I am doing my weeklies. So I'll show you, this is how I've kind of been setting up my weeklies for the most part. This week I just did a different layout, I just made it vertical, but it's the same basic thing. So once I have my month set up and I go to set up my week, I will take from the month to-do list and put it on this week's to-do list. So I'll take things that I know I can conquer or get done this week on this list, as well as other things that come up that I may not be able to, or that may come up that aren't specific for that month, but I'd like to do it that week. I put it on a this week list. Same thing like my month, I also like to have a next week list. I know this might be repetitive, but it just helps me with any anxiety I may have with planning. So I know that each thing is getting migrated forward or has a place when it is going to be done. So if I know I'd like to do something next week, I put it on my next week list. And when I'm making my weekly, I like to have all the days obviously listed out, and so each one is dated, and then I could put my date specific items from my monthly onto the weekly. So I'll put them on each day that the bill is due, or that I have the appointment, or whatever it is, I'll put that on here. And then what I'll do, once I kind of see a general overview, I'll pull from this week, the list, and I'll try to plan it on each day. There are some items I might not be able to, or I don't know when I'm gonna be able to fit it in, but if I know, for instance, I could do this video thing on Thursday, my day off, I'll put it here. Just so that when I'm going and planning my dailies, I have kind of a better idea of, oh, maybe I could get this done this day, and it just helps me be more productive personally. Yeah, it's been helping me when I'm able to schedule it a little bit more. And then I also like to include a menu. It's always really basic. It's just kind of what I have on hand, like what meals I can make. And then what I will do is, for my dailies, I'll pull from my week spread. So on each day, I'll set it up. I'll just write the date, decorate it a little if I want to, and I'll put the specific things that need to be done that day. So for instance, this day was pay my Honda and contact Gilio about something, about an order. So those I knew I need to get done, and then I kind of added things as I went through the day, and I use my dailies kind of as like a purge, basically. I'll like brain dump whatever I have going on. If I have a project idea, if I have a to-buy list, if I know I need to put something somewhere, it always goes on the daily page. And then later on, I'll do a daily review and put it where it needs to go. So for instance, if I know I need to at some point do another task, I'll first write it here, and then at the end of the day I'll go through and either put that on the weekly spread if it's if I need to, like if it needs to get done this week, I'll put it on the month, I'll put it in forward planning, wherever it needs to go, it comes from the daily, so it starts here. And then let me think. Okay, so after my daily review, what I'll do is I'll always put a little star once this day is completed. So once my day is completed, I just put an asterisk. I got this idea from Brandy Michelle Plans here on YouTube. You should check her out. She has awesome ideas. But yeah, it just helps me knowing that like I don't have all these pages of things that may have ongoing tasks or ongoing things I might need to refer to. Now, there have been a few instances where I do need to refer to something, or if I take notes on something that I would like to reference, and I do just put a little tab here. and I use like a page flag basically to know that it's something I might need to refer back to. And I don't have that many. I have like a total of 5 here that I may need to go back to. And actually I'll do kind of a weekly or monthly review on these tabs and see if they're still relevant. So for instance, I just made a wish list here. I was referring back to that. I think on this day, it's a doctor's appointment address. So I know for my doctor's appointment, I might need to refer back to that address. So I put a tab there. Once that doctor appointment is over, I will actually just take the tab and move it into the page so it doesn't stick out anymore. And that's been really helpful for me because like I said, I don't have a ton of notes or things that I do refer back to. A lot of things get migrated into my personal wide. I'll show you that in a bit, just a brief overview of like kind of how I'm using that in conjunction with this. But yeah, that's how I kind of refer to things that I may need to look back on. And the star definitely helps me going through it, knowing, okay, that day's complete, there's nothing I need to look at. Now, as far as the tabs up here, I've just been doing this for the month. So once the month is over, I'll try to show you, I move the tab down. So I'll do like the 4 or 5 weeks of the month, keep them sticking out just if I need to look back on something. And then after that, I just move it down because I don't really need to have every week of the year tabbed. Okay, so then I went through my dailies. Sorry. And yeah, that's pretty much it. Once I'm done doing a daily review, this was actually supposed to be starred. Once I'm done doing a daily review, at the end of each week, so on Sunday, I usually set up for my new week, and it's the same thing. I will take from this week's tasks and next week's tasks, and whatever didn't get completed, I will migrate them over and either put them on the this week's section or the next week's section. And then any day specific things, I of course then put in the day, and then it continues. So each day, then I'll make my daily and my brain dump or whatever it is that day. And then what I have been doing, which has been helping me also, another way to be more repetitive, is I've been putting my this week's tasks on a sticky note. So I've literally copied this and put it right here on a sticky note. So then it's next to me every day, and I'll just migrate that over each day. If this gets a little messy or if I complete most of the tasks, I'll just make a new sticky note. And every week I make a new sticky note. And I just like having that next to me. Totally unnecessary. You could totally just flip back to your week spread, but I like having it in multiple places. It just makes me feel better. And then I'm trying to think if I'm not forgetting anything else. So yeah, on the months, the other tabs that I have going on, I just tab each monthly. And these are from Planner Press. They're just the clear little labels that you can put on just so I can flip to each month quickly if I need to. And then I'm kind of using my personal wide in conjunction with this. So these were just notes for this video, so I knew not to forget anything. But what starts here will sometimes migrate here. So if it's not like an address, like the doctor's address, obviously I'll tab, or my wish list at that moment I'll tab. But if it starts as like a project or a video idea or something like that, it'll eventually go in here. So the sections I have for here is notes, just so I have a place to put notes if I don't have my V6 with me. Projects, which is where it'll all start in here. My project idea will usually come from here, and then I will do a more detailed project page with steps in here. Like that's long-term things that may last for more than a week. I have my blog, or it's not really blog, it's really meant to be YouTube, but there wasn't a YouTube sticker. So YouTube ideas, YouTube tracking, things like that, just anything involving my YouTube or Instagram. It goes in here just so I can get a better overview. I have a personal section which I use to track my mood. I use it for gratitude, for affirmations. I got this idea from SM Plans, and she has some awesome inserts in her shop for affirmations and gratitude and wellness. So I just kind of made a section for that, and it's been fun for me to fill out and do each night. And then I have a finance section where I track more detailed finance, like debt payoffs, my income for each month is like laid out, so it's each month. I'll show you like what I do there. I want to do a more detailed flip of this. I'm trying not to show like anything crazy. Okay, so yeah, so this is how I'll put my income for each month. I just list it out, the income coming in, and that's listed out like that. I have, what is that, order tracker in there, anything finance, just so it's all in one section. And then I have a home section where I have recipes, home reference, like details maybe on doctor's visits from my husband and myself. And yeah, it's basically like a home binder of sorts, so more detailed project planning, finance information and stuff like that. But it all starts in here. So if I have a note for the day, or if I have something coming up and I pull from this for my bills, for anything, it all starts in here and then goes over to that. And yeah, it's been working really well. I love having a more permanent spot in my personal wide and where I can actually section it off. That's the great thing about rings, is you can take everything and put it in their individual sections. But I love how this is working. It kind of gives me freedom to just write things down on each day, and then later on I can go put them where I need to if I need to move them somewhere. Trying to think, that is kind of it. I've in the back have the same stickers that I've been using really frequently, some Post-its, and I just, in the pocket here, I always keep, in the zipper, I just keep a blank check. And then in the back pocket, I have some reference information that I may need to reference out and about. I just like to have that in every planner. It's just, I don't know, like it makes me feel better having it on hand if I need it, like social security numbers or doctor's number or something like that. I've been loving, or I've had this for 2 days, but I love the aubergine. It's super nice. The smell, I know people were talking about, it's really not overpowering in my opinion. Yes, if you put your nose to it, it is a little bit of a sharp smell, but I'm sure it'll fade. Like, I know these planners were recently made, so I'm sure it comes from the process of creating this finish and this leather. But I definitely recommend them. All of Giglio's products that I've gotten are absolutely gorgeous. They're top notch in my opinion. The quality is amazing and definitely well worth the investment. But if you guys have any other questions for how I'm using this, or have any videos you would like me to film or anything like that, just leave it in the comments down below. And yeah, thank you guys so much for watching, and I will see you in the next video. Bye.